I didn't get much sleep last night. Didn't go to bed until, I don't know, 4:30 or something like that a.m. Because freaking worrying. Because I'm so frustrated. Every night, I get blatantly suggested that I should do something different. And it's always, oh, but do what is funnest for you. But also, you're the scapegoat for why we're doing bad. And we don't always do bad. When I do well, it's not noticed at all. And I'm trying out something that's fun to play, and that's a newer build for World versus World. And because it's not a traditional meta, even though the traditional meta for the class I play has been nerfed supposedly to crap, it's like, how dare you try something that's newer? You're obviously, every time that we don't, struggle at all against another Zerg, nothing. Every time that we do struggle against another Zerg, man, there's just some people in our group who don't want to be better. And afterwards, I get talked to about it personally, and the whole night I get, for 3 hours, comments, and it's not me personally, but it's just everyone in general needs to be using guild builds. Don't forget, guys. And it's like, my girlfriend always worries that they're disappointed in her because she's still learning how to do her stuff. And they're very patient with her because she's using, an accepted build that, there's other people in the guild that are using and stuff. So when she messes up, they're very patient about it and stuff. And when I mess up, it's really dumb things like I forgot to hit forward when I dodge rolled or something. But there's no patience for it at all. And it's frustrating because I don't like being the worst. But at the same time, I don't think I am the worst. As far as I can tell, the build holds its own just fine. If I go with, like, just a few people, like, we're very hard to kill, while at the same time, the enemy feels a little bit of pressure with their health. If I go and run with another Zerg, no issues whatsoever. The only difference at all is, I think, just the pressure. So I'm looking into just keeping that build and keeping that character, but making another one for running with the Zerg. And I'll play the other one on my own time. The other one's fun, but not getting me any peace of mind. I don't understand the point of harping. I've never liked nagging. It's my goal to never ever nag at the people in my life and to hope that they don't nag me. It's irritating. And I don't actually think I'm the worst one. I don't think I'm the best one at all, but I'm not competitive in the way that I need to be the best one. I just wanted to be part of the team. But being different and being on the cutting edge of builds instead of doing the builds that's from, a year ago is apparently something that will never make you part of a team. Same thing's true in life, though. People get comfortable with something and then change feels scary to them. And do I think we're magically going to start being awesome and better if I change builds? No, not at all. But will they possibly stop scapegoating me for every single flaw? Who knows? Honestly. If they don't stop, I might just find another guild. Habitually chewing out one single person, or else the guild leader chews out himself a lot too. There is that, but I'm not your kid. Stop yelling at me. Honestly, people shouldn't yell at their kids either, but like, you're not my father, and you're way younger than me, so you're not gonna be my father. So calm the F down, breathe a little. There was a time in the night that there was this giant speech given on stay on our tag. Because if we stay on our tag, then we'll survive whatever they throw at us. Because we've got shields, we've got blasts, we've got, all of our stuff, heals and everything, and we'll just bomb them. And everyone just needs to follow the tag. We dove in, did all the stuff. The tag runs out, and the only person who's still alive is me, still on the tag, while everyone else is laying there dead. Not a word. It's frustrating. It's just effing frustrating. The only acceptable thing to do is some old, outdated, nerfed thing. Why would anyone want to play that? It doesn't look fun. The guild leader flat out said all of the meta builds aren't fun. When I first was starting up, he wanted me to be a firebrand. I looked at that and I was like, no. Last time I played Guild Wars 2, I got basically suckered into healing for raids because no one else would do it. And if I wanted to be part of the raid group, I had to heal. And you get pigeonholed into having to do a thing if you want to hang out with these people. Well, I don't know these people enough for it to be worth it to just force myself to do something I don't want to do. And I used to be someone who would just do it. And I don't feel that way anymore. And I feel like that's progress. I've never ever been the kind of person who didn't just do whatever everyone around me wanted. And I don't want to heal. I don't want to be a support. I don't mind supporting. I absolutely want to be part of the team. But I don't want to play. I don't know, it might not be a good fit. The other thing is it goes till 2 a.m, so we've been getting to bed late, but World versus World is fun. But I'm kind of like, I've been in this guild for less than a week, and somehow magically, and this, the really funny thing is when we joined, they were like, oh, so relieved because they've only been around for 2 months and they need people. And then you've been in the guild that has existed for 2 months for less than a week, and you're somehow magically the reason why they're having issues. couldn't possibly be that they've only been a team for 2 months. Now, is my build perfect? Absolutely not. It is not sorted yet. It's 2 months old and no one can figure out how exactly to tweak it into being the meta. Not a perfect build at all. Totally. Understand that. But is it, like, exciting? Yeah. And does it still do, like, it has really good sustain while putting out not terrible damage. Now, is it the highest DPS in the game? Hell no. Is it the best sustain in the game? Hell no. It's like this really strong hybrid, but instead of being only for yourself, it also is for 5 other people. And I'm basically a Might Alacrity bomb for my allies with some stability. Like, that's good in World versus World. And maybe the build will end up and not ever be a meta, but there are people doing really good things with it. Like, and it's fun to play, and you get tons of loot. You get so many tags, and it's like, why not see if it can be perfected and, you know, be the next progression? What would be really funny is if the build that I'm playing, like, another 2 months from now, is like the meta. That would be hilarious. But I don't really think so. I think it will get tweaked enough that it won't look exactly like it does now at all. But I like that. I like tweaking stuff around and figuring out the new metas and stuff. I don't like just forever hanging on to a nerfed thing that used to be good a million years ago. Like, there's people running around in World versus World with all these, like, Condi builds in Zergs, and Condis get cleansed almost instantly. It's like, it's okay for roaming, but it's not good for Zergs. I used to do a lot of PvP, and I haven't PvP'd at all since I got back, but in the PvP, I never ever played the nerfed builds. I always wanted to go find what was, you know, basically the thing that hadn't been nerfed yet, so let's try it and see how it works. Oh wow, this actually works. And it just needs tweaking. I always played those, and I did pretty good in PvP. I have the legendary backpack. I have, like, a decent chunk of achievements. I really should try PvPing. I just haven't practiced at all. But, like, it's like, sometimes the meta is the meta because it is flat out the meta. Absolutely. And then sometimes the meta stays the meta, even though it's been nerfed, and everyone in the comments, everyone on YouTube, everyone on Twitch, everywhere is like, wow, this just does not play the same anymore. And it just stays the meta somehow for another year on a couple of websites. And so if people trust only those websites and not anything else, they don't go to Reddit, they don't go to all the other stuff that there is on the freaking internet. They'll only trust 1 or 2 sites. They just cling to that, even though everyone else has universally agreed, yeah, that's been nerfed. And that's frustrating. That's very close-minded. I don't like close-mindedness. I don't like feeling like the worst. I don't need to be the best, but I don't want to be the worst. And I do not like being made a scapegoat at all. Like, at all. I'm going to try a different build that is still the meta. It's only been nerfed just a tiny bit. As far as I can tell, it's still considered the good build or whatever for a different class. And see how it works. See if I can stand playing it. Certain builds I can tell right away I'm not going to like, and like the playstyle, that I'm not going to like the playstyle. This one, I'm not sure. I'm like 50-50 about it, so I'm going to mess around with it a little bit when I can. But I'm kind of proud of myself that I don't want to say the word stubborn, because I'm not trying to be stubborn, but that I'm not just a doormat. Because I've been a doormat like my entire life. And I'm not willing to just concede just because someone else is like being facetious, like whining. That's what it is. Someone's whining at me. And normally in the past, I would just be like, oh no, I'm inconveniencing someone. And I don't feel that way. I genuinely think that's a good thing. And if I want a World versus World, there's lots of other World versus World guilds. I don't want to do one that requires you to play every single night, but yeah. And this one doesn't interfere with the guild, which is important, but yeah. It's the guild on World of Warcraft, I mean. It's weird. I don't feel a compulsion to just cave. And at the same time, it's kind of like, you know what? Dude, chill. I do still feel uncomfortable some in World versus World, and I think that's why I make some of the little dumb mistakes I make sometimes, the little silly ones. Because again, when I'm doing World versus World during the day, unless I'm like really distracted, I tend to do really well. Like following other Zergs and stuff. And I don't even have comms, and I still do really well. So I'm thinking it's more my uncomfortableness than anything. I'm trying to deepen my voice. I am trying to come across as a guy because I don't want to be thought of as anything other than a guy. And if I was in this guild in the future and I'm transitioning and everything and my voice is changing, it's going to be changing to deeper. So I'm trying to sound deeper now because I know eventually it's going to be deeper and they're probably going to be able to hear it, and that's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good to feel not instantly recognized. But at the same time, I'm trying to calm that down a bit. I'm having like a little bit of indigestion. I'm so unnerved about it. Like I end up like burping and stuff like that. And my girlfriend's like, "Why are you burping so much?" And I'm just like, my tummy hurts because I'm upset because I'm trying to deepen my voice, and I just laughed, and at the very tail of my laugh, my voice went up just slightly and the pitch went up just slightly, and it sounded too. I'm just very, very conscious of it. And that doesn't help me play better. But even if I'm playing bad, if I'm playing a meta build, apparently it'll be fine. So